Sup YouTube? Today, I'm going to be showing you guys on how I make my videos in 2023. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I do is I open up OBS by going to my taskbar and opening it up. Now currently I'm already recording in OBS, so it's not really possible, but yeah, this is my setup. So for my scenes, I have YouTube, the only one and only, because I don't really use Twitch unless I have to. But yeah, let's go over to my sources because I think this is the most important part. For my microphone, I have, well actually the microphone I use for my videos will always be in the description, so make sure you check that if you want more information. But yeah, it says USB plug and play, and that's what it stands for, by the way, plug and play audio device. Now if you go over to filters, this is the most important part to a microphone because this is what really makes the audio sound nice and crisp. So for the ratios at 3:1, the threshold is at negative 25 decibels. The attack is at 10 milliseconds. The release is at 25 milliseconds. There is no increase or decrease in output gain. And there's nothing for the sidechain / ducking source. I also have a limiter. Oh, by the way, I do have a compressor because that's what actually helps it stay consistent. These are my limiter settings. Basically almost the same thing. And the release is the same. The release is the same, although the threshold is at minus 7.5 decibels. So whenever I get loud, it won't exceed that freaking limit, which is very important because ear rape is a very serious matter. I need to make sure my audience's eardrums don't explode. Alright, so for noise suppression, I'm currently using Speaks or SpeX, I'm not sure. Usually what I would do now is if I'm going to go live, I would use RNoise, which will be good because the way I'm going to edit this audio is that I'm going to use Audacity, but that's going to be later in the video. When I'm recording, I'm going to use Speaks, and I'm going to put it at negative 35 decibels because I think it's a good balance between quality and reducing background noise. It could be better, but this is what works for me. I hope you don't mind. But in case you are wondering how it sounds like for RNoise, hello, this is me talking with RNoise. Unfortunately, this isn't quite the best for picking up every sound, and this could really affect the amount of speech that's inputted through the microphone. This is why I prefer Speaks when I'm recording, because while it does help with reducing even more background noise, if you don't have much background noise to begin with, you probably shouldn't be using this at all. Okay, so back to Speaks. Alright, then we have noise gate. Now for this, it's a bit tricky. There is actually a video I've been linking down my description for a long time now. That's still relevant for the most part, and it features my actual microphone that I use, so that's cool too. For the close threshold, I had around negative 35 decibels. The open threshold is at negative 30 decibels. The attack time is 10, release time is 25. The hold time is 100. I don't really want to mess with the hold time too much because I think that might cause some issues. But yeah, if you go over to my speakers, it's my headphones. Pretty basic. No filters here because there's really no need. I also have an alert box for when I'm live, as well as the viewer count. This is what it looks like, by the way. Pretty snazzy, I know. And there's the alert box, which you can't really see until someone does something. And it's usually right here. Oh, I guess for my viewer count as well. Yeah, it's pretty big. I also like to have it locked and sometimes hidden away just to make sure it's a little easier. Now for my screen, there are no filters because there's not really any need for that. Although I could increase the saturation, but I already did that with my whole display, so I think it still works. And then there's like the specific games that I would record with. For this, I would just go to the plus and then go to game capture. And then I'll just name the game whatever it is. And if we go over here on Roblox, just an example, I would pick capture specific window, and then I'll pick the actual window. And there's like a bunch of other settings, but I don't really care about that. And then the credits. Now this actually takes up the entire screen because what I do is that I like to end my live streams with the credits screen, just to summarize whatever happened, like any new subscribers, donors, or whatever, which is pretty cool. I like to end the stream like that. Alright, so for this, there's also my advanced audio properties. It's not that important, but just know that I have 2 tracks for specific reasons. One will be microphone, which is the track I use for editing audio of my microphone, and the second track is any audio captured within the system. Okay, so for my streams, how I do it is that's going to be part of settings, but I just go to manage broadcast, go to select existing broadcast, and then I will pick one from there. Actually, I might as well just show you right now, so just give me a second. Okay, so we're back. If we go over here to my test stream, this was actually from MyCub, which is a previous stream. But yeah, these are my settings. You're not gonna see my stream key because that's very important to me. And this is basically my stream setup for my key. I would make it 1440p, but I don't have a 1440p display, so that doesn't really count. And I also have this checked as well. There's also closed captions, but I don't feel like going through the trouble of having to do that. Oh yeah, that's probably why too. So I just have it disabled. There's also my stream latency, which is very important to me. I picked ultra low latency because while normal latency is good, I do want to interact with my fans, so that's really important to me. There's also analytics and stream health, but it's not really important. And then to the edit page. So for this, it's just the title, description of the game and stuff. I don't really know what to do with this part. It's usually unlisted, but I would have to turn it public after. And then since I'm usually streaming a game, I would do that. The thumbnail will always be my banner because I'm an original. And also, when I'm done with the stream, I would go to playlists, and then I would pick all live streams 2023, and then I'll press done. There's also my audience, but whatever. Keep going through. I also like to disable allow automatic places because that's not really my favorite thing. The tag will always be my channel name because I don't know. Both of these are English. The recording day and time I do, or the recording day and location, I only do it for recording dates. So in this case, this video would be at 3/19, which is on a Sunday. And then we keep going, and that's about it. And then for customization, I do have live chat and live chat replay. Anyone could participate. That would be weird if it was just subscribers. And there's also slow mo just in case. I also like to do this as well. Toggle timestamps. I don't know if it works though, but yeah. Back on OBS, if we go to manage broadcast now, select existing stream or broadcast, we can select it, and then I could either do select broadcast and start streaming or select broadcast. I like to usually just press select broadcast just to make any final preparations before the big thing. Now, for my settings, these are my settings. We're gonna go pretty quick. So make sure you pause and look at all of this because I am not going to want to read all that. For my stream, there we go. Output, that's also really important. I don't feel like explaining a lot of these things. I think it's best if you look up a video or so and try to see what settings fit best for you. These are my recording settings. I have it at 12,000 kilobits per second because why not? I don't know. Also my audio 30 to 20 kilobits per second because why not? No replay buffer for the audio. Everything is disabled because I think that's better. My monitoring device, I don't know, and some other stuff. For video, it's 1920 by 1080, and then we have 60 frames per second. My hotkeys is just one. There's not really anything else. For starting and stopping recordings, it's shift and then the / key. However, I don't really use that often, but it does come in handy every once in a while. And then for my process priority, it's above normal. I could put it at normal, but I don't think that's a good idea. And then these are my video settings as well, except this is like different from that. And then we keep going. I also have these two checked because I think it's good, but I'm not sure. And yeah, that's about it. That's all regarding OBS. Now, what I do is once I'm done with the recording, I would go to File and then Remix Recordings. I don't know if that's how you pronounce Remux or REMUX. I'm just gonna call it Remix. But yeah, just press these three dots. I don't know. Let's just select this video, I suppose, and then we remix it. That's gonna be a long video though. Sometimes the longer videos will take like a minute or two. Usually this would be fast, but I don't know. I guess this one takes longer. And there we go. Remixing finished. Now I'll just press clear all items because I don't like having too much of that. Then I'll just go to show recordings, and there's my recording. It's that one. I also have the test recording, so I'll showcase my settings and stuff when I'm uploading a YouTube video. So yeah, I guess we're done here with OBS. Let's move on to Audacity. Okay, so over on Audacity, this is why I used to edit audio now. I used to use Adobe Audition, but that was a bit too complicated for me, and I like this one better, if I'm being honest. So this is what I would do now. I would go to Open. Oh, this is my file. This is my folder for like accessing audio and stuff. But in this case, we're gonna go to Desktop. We're gonna go to Videos, and then we're gonna go to test.mp4. The reason why is because if I don't pick an MP4, I won't be able to separate the tracks. And this is the reason why I'm able to like lower or raise the volume of some tracks while keeping the other one at the same consistent volume. I guess I'll include a video in the description, but once you do that, you just go to the MP4 that you remixed from the MKV, or you can just do MP4, but I just prefer MKV so I don't get that freaking warning from OBS. Press open. Now this is actually pretty important. So if you could recall from before, if we go over to OBS again, remember that my microphone setting or my microphone track is at 1 and my speakers/headphones is at 2. Using that, index 1 is my microphone and index 2 are my speakers or headphones. So let's go ahead and pick microphone. Now this is my test recording. We're gonna go ahead and actually edit this. So before we do that, let's go ahead and hear it first. I apologize for that. I forgot that I need to actually check which audio output it's going through. So in that case, I need to go to Edit and then Preferences. And then once I do that, I can also go over here. I can go here to the playback and then pick my headphones. And there we go. It takes a bit to actually do that, but now we can actually hear it. This is a test recording for YouTube. What I would do now is I'm just gonna raise all the volume right now because it's a bit quiet for me. Let's hear it again. This is a test recording for YouTube. You hear how freaking clean that sounds? That's awesome, dude. But yeah, in case there are any errors with my audio, this is what I like to do. I would like to zoom in and then see if there's any weird sound waves or whatever. Like for example, like this little part right here. I like to go to Effect, Volume and Compression, Amplify, turn this all the way down and apply. Now I do this for like the small things because I think it makes the audio sound better, or at least more consistent. But that could just be me. Then I'll press Ctrl R just to do it again. Now once I'm done, I could also just press this button right here, and then it'll just zoom out so it can fit everything. So there wasn't really much background noise. However, just to demonstrate how I would do it, I would just select a blank part or a part where it's just no background noise. Then I'll go to Effect, Noise Removal and Repair, and then Noise Reduction. Then I'll press Get Noise Profile. Once you do that, select everything, do the steps again, and then this time you press OK. However, you can also change some settings, although I would recommend just leaving it like that because I think it's fine on its own. So in theory, this should sound better. I'm just going to amplify the sound one more time because it's still a bit quiet for me, if I'm being honest, but it's okay. Here we go. This is a test recording for YouTube. I don't know, does it sound better? Not really sure. Okay, so once I'm done, I'll just go to File, Export, and then Export as Wave. We're back in my folder again. I've already created, actually I think Audacity created a folder in my documents. So that's cool. Then I'll just name it whatever. My encoding is 32-bit flow. Now I could do 64-bit, but just to be safe, I'll just do 32-bit flow. This will show up. I don't want to, you might not want to press this just in case you want this again, but you could if you want. I just like to have it like this anyways, just so I have it. And I'll press OK. And notice how there's no loading bar. That's because it's already done. It was that fast. Depending if you made this into an Audacity project, you can just press X and then press no. However, just to demonstrate how to do that, I think it would just create a folder called that. I think it's going to be in the same folder. You just have to name the file and it's going to be in .aup3. I need to press save. What this will do is once you close, it will just do that. However, it will also ask you to save in case you didn't save without exiting. Alright, now let's move on to probably the longest process of recording videos, editing. Alright, now we're here in my editing software. The editing software that I use is called CyberLink PowerDirector 18. Now, if you ask me if I bought this legally, anyways, we're gonna go over here and actually, no, we're gonna go to edit and preferences because I want to show you this before I show you the editing process. So these are my settings. Pretty cool. And these are my editing ones, my editing settings. Then my file, display. I also like to have my playback as low to give me the best time possible to react to edits and stuff. For hardware acceleration, this is the most important because I want to make sure that Intel Quick Sync, whatever it's called, is available. However, sometimes it's not. But I think this time it will be available, so that's cool. I also like to optimize it every once in a while. I actually did it pretty recently too, about 10 minutes ago, so that's cool. And then for my project, I also like to autosave every 2 minutes. Then my produce, and then capture. I'm not gonna go over these 4 because it's kind of useless. And yeah, that's about it. There's also my effects as well. These 46 are my favorite. Alright, so we got all of those. And don't worry, that's not you. It's not the frame rate. It's not you. That's just how it is for some reason. I wish it were smoother, but it's fine. If we go over to text, now this is probably one of my favorite parts of any video I do. So for the text, I'll just go to that. Actually, I'll just show you how I actually make it. So in order to actually make custom text and with a custom font, you would go to the text, go to custom, you press on this little button right here, and then you press 2D or 3D like title. I'll pick 2D title. So make sure it's on advanced because that's what you really want. Now we could just double click and we'll just put whatever. I'll just put text again just in case. Now this is very important when it comes to centering text and everything. You just go over here to whatever that button said. I don't know what it said, but just press this button next to whatever that button is. Then make sure that align to canvas is checked. Once it's checked, press horizontal center and then press vertical center. Except we need to actually select the text. Whoops. Press horizontal center and then vertical center. Once you do that, it's perfectly centered now. To actually edit it, make sure you double click it, make sure it's like all blue and highlighted. Then you go over here. Let's pick calligraphical, shall we? There we go. Now it doesn't really look that good because it's not really a good font at all. So actually let's pick something else, my bad. Let's pick chunky squares. I think that's a better font. In this case, since this font is already bolded enough, I don't think it's necessary to add more. But usually I would like to bold my fonts and also to italicize it, I would do that. Can't really change the italics, not really sure why, but yeah. And for this, I would also like to align the spacing to -36 because the reason being is because if I press enter and I put even more text here, you notice how it's actually like more condensed now. If I were to do this at 0, it would be like this, and that's a pain, dude. And while it does look good now, I wouldn't really recommend it. I would recommend it to put it at -36. For the text spacing, you could also change it, but I would prefer you not do that. Although, if you're trying to do like a specific effect with that, go right ahead. Just know that I usually don't like doing that. Okay, so there's also kerning, but I don't think that works well. There's also character presets in case you don't really know what you're doing. I think this is what Corey Kenshin uses. This one specifically. I think this is the one that he uses a lot. Dang, Corey. That looks freaking fly. These presets really work for him. What I would do is I would just pick white and then put a black outline through it. Okay, then we'll go to border, or actually font face first. This is what I would do. You'd also put like a 2 color gradient. I mean, you could do that, but I don't feel like it. I just like one uniform color. Then for the border, this is probably the most important part. This is what I would do. I would make it black and And actually, this is not even selected, I think. Unless I'm going crazy, then I don't know. Let's try again. There we go. Now it's black. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the size. That's a bit too much. You just gotta play around with the border settings until it looks good to you. Seems like it was already fine before, but let's just reduce it one more time. There we go. Doesn't look too bad now, but it could be better. You can also put more gradients as well. There's also backdrop and stuff. I don't really care about that. There's also object settings too, which is cool. So for this, let's do position, for example. So in order to do that, just click on this little thing right here. Click on this little diamond, which will activate the first keyframe. We're going to go ahead and move this to the left. Alright, now once we do that, let's go all the way to the end, add another keyframe, and let's move it to the right, assuming that everything is still the same. Now if we were to play it back, it would just look like that. Not really sure why it was blurry, but yeah, you can also change some other stuff as well, like scale, opacity, rotation. So once you're done making your perfect text template, just go ahead and press save as. And then for the keyframe, just, I don't know, the first one, I guess. And then just call it whatever you want. Let's just call it text. Alright, once you do that, press OK. And it'll be right there. What you can do now is you can put this here. And you can go over here and edit the text. And then put whatever the frick you want. So we're just going to put LOL. And it's already automatically centered because you already did that step before. Unless I jacked up before, then make sure you do that. Just in case. But there we go. LOL. And then it lasts for however many seconds you want it to last. However, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because I don't really like it. I'm going to go ahead and show you the actual text that I already use for my videos. So in this case, to change the name of the thing, you would press change alias and then you would change it. But to actually go back and edit something within it, you would go to modify template. Alright, and here we go. This is what I do. Feast your eyes on some important stuff. Oh, there's also that too, I guess. The object settings. We don't really care about that. There's the font face. Again, it's pretty basic. There's also that. Bolded, because if it's not bolded, it looks like that, which looks really basic. Bolding it really helps pronounce more definition through it. I don't know if that makes any sense. There's also effects and motion. Motion is the one I use pretty often sometimes, and this is how I do it. If you're wondering how I got that weird effect where it's like going in a circle or whatever, this is the spiral one. It goes like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's also this one, which is also pretty cool. That was actually one of the smoothest motion paths yet, which I really like. But yeah, you can go ahead and just put it in the track. You can also make sure you also utilize multiple tracks because you want to make sure you're organized. This program allows you to do that pretty easily, and it's pretty easy to understand. You can also watch tutorial videos, but I recommend you just learn through the process. It's about discovering what works for you and seeing what shortcuts you can take to make your editing process more efficient and more fun. Okay, so say I got like a really bad feeling about a certain part of the video. Just be like, I don't like this. Now, if it gets too big, you can just resize it by doing that and then reposition it like so. However, if you don't have that option and it's like out there, you could just follow those purple lines or whatever, and then it'll be basically the same thing. And you can also like make it to the top as well, which is what I like to do. Or maybe to the right whenever there's a typo or something. You press OK, and it's right there. The video will be like down here or wherever you want it. There's also like transitions, but I don't really use them too often. The only one that I really use is the fade because I don't know, that's like the only one. It's like the only one that works out. Alright, now for the audio track, that's actually really important. In order for me to showcase that, I'll have to go to import media files by clicking on this little folder and then import media files. In case you're wondering how to open up your project when you save, I just go ahead and press open project or open recent project. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and import that video that I've recorded. So make sure you pick the that one. You might get this warning. I'm just gonna press no because I don't care. But yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and put this video here. Now, in order to actually import your own edited audio from Audacity, this is what you'd have to do. You'd have to right click on the clip and then press link/unlink video and audio. Then select the audio track and delete it. Then go back over here to import media files and then go to your documents or wherever your audio track was done. Then we're going to pick your this one. Now remember that since you had like 2 tracks or more, you're going to want to make sure you know what you're doing and you're going back and re-listening to your audio and seeing which one is which. In this case, I would rename this to microphone or just simply mic, because the shorter the name, the easier it is to see the audio waves and everything. Alright, so once you do that, just put it right under the video. And I don't know why this happens, but let's go to the end of the clip. You see this? You see how there's like 1 frame gap, or it's like a 1 gap frame? Just go to where the audio ends by clicking on the audio track, clicking on clip, and then go all the way to the end. Click on the video and then just click on this button. This button right here is crucial to everything. This is literally one of the most essential parts of the editor. You click on that and you press delete. And don't worry, you might think, oh no, but they're actually not synced up because it's like 2 frames. Trust me, they're synced up, or at least well enough to the point where no one's really gonna notice. Now, if you're gonna be previewing your video, the max I would recommend is full HD. So let's go ahead and watch this video with the newly improved audio. This is a test recording for YouTube. Now, unfortunately, it is a bit laggy for me, but I promise you, it will actually sync up. It's just a bit laggy for me right now because I'm recording. So if you actually want to edit your audio a little bit more, you can go over here. And if you do have more than 1 audio track, you can like edit those 2. You can also put like fade ins. So what I would do is I would just find the key or the frame where this button disappears, but it also doesn't. If you want to go back like 1 frame at a time or change the way this works, you can like change that and stuff. If you also click on this, you can also see like other tracks. Maybe the SVRT may be useful. There's also remove empty tracks, which will be pretty helpful when reducing lag. Make sure your adjust video track height and audio track height are at medium, otherwise it's going to be a little weird. It's personal preference. So let's try to go ahead and make this fade in. So I'll go ahead and find that key by pressing this button, or the comma button in this case, or the period. Right there, that is the Goldilocks zone. And I'll just press that. Even though there's no audio, you can just do that in case you want to be very precise. Oh, there's also this really cool way of balancing audio or trying to make everything louder at once without having to go back. So let's say instead of me doing this, we'll just take this and then make this louder. We could go over here and just raise it or something. Instead of doing that for every individual audio cell or whatever, you could just raise this. Now you can raise it to however much you want, although I recommend just leaving it at 50. Although if you do need the audio to be a little quieter or louder, that will be your go-to option. Never press the normalize button because I think that will ruin your audio. Plus, you should be doing that in Audacity because it's more flexible. Okay, so let's assume that we're done with the video, right? So once you're done, you can go back and preview it again. Maybe at a lower resolution so it's not dying or something, but it's up to you really. Now for probably the most important part of actually completing your video, or before the final process of uploading it onto YouTube, the produce tab. Okay, so over here, unfortunately I don't have that fast video rendering technology. However, if you do have this option, make sure it's at Intel Quick Sync Video or whatever the second option is. If it's at SVRT, that could work, but I recommend you not do that. If you don't have this option, it's fine. Just know that it may take longer to render videos, but it's really not that big of a deal. Now for 1080p 60, it's not my favorite quality, but yeah, here's like a properties list in case you want a brief summary of everything. But yeah, I'll go ahead and go here anyways. You can also add a description. The profile name you can't really edit until you can only edit it if you delete it and then do it again. So make sure you think carefully, I guess. And in the description, you can always edit. I just put something because I don't really like it that much. Here's the resolution. You can only go up to 4K for some reason. Maybe, I don't know what that is. I don't know why they don't have 8K or whatever. For the bitrate, I recommend 60,000 because you need that quality. Make sure it's at quality mode and you use the blocking. Speed mode could be good, but if you're trying to make your video look nicer, quality mode is the best setting. It's also the entropy coding, K-back. Make sure it's a high profile, progressive. I don't know what frame rate you like. I think 59.94 could work as well, but I like a nice round 60. And for audio, it's really up to you. I don't know what LCPM is. It looks rather confusing. There's also Dolby Digital, and you can push that all the way to the max, but I like to use AAC. I like to use double AC, stereo, and all the way 384. I think YouTube only allows like a certain amount of bitrate. I'll leave a link in the description with that, but just know that it's really up to you on how you render and process your video. That's 1080p 60. Now for my favorite quality, the standard. So these are my settings, or these are my details, overall summary for it. So yeah, notice how it's almost the same, except the bitrate's a lot higher. It's actually double, and the audio is the same. It's basically just better quality. Also, don't ever press surround sound. I think that actually ruins the audio, so don't do that unless you're making a movie or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, make sure it's at H.264 AVC. These other ones also work too, but... And yeah, once you're ready to go, just go ahead, pick your quality, and press start. I'm gonna pick 1080p 60 because I don't want this to take too long. And also because I like my storage space big as it is right now. And yeah, there we go. Once it's done, I would recommend you press Open File Explorer and just leave this open because we're going to need it later on. Go back to your edit because this is pretty important. Delete the produce.mp4 that comes out after, or whatever it's called, because it's really annoying. And then once you do that, if you're trying to save your project, this is what you do. You just press Ctrl S. Let's go ahead and go to desktop, or go to documents, CyberLink PowerDirector 18. Something tells me this is not the right one. Okay, well in this case, let's go back to documents, CyberLink PowerDirector. Let's go ahead and make a new folder. I'm gonna call it all CyberLink PowerDirector saves. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just gonna call it that. Let's just call it test. And there we go. Once you do that, it'll show up with this, which is pretty cool. Anyways, we're gonna leave now. But yeah, once you're ready, let's go back to my YouTube channel and start uploading it. Okay, so right here, in case you don't know how to do this, you can just go on YouTube, click on this little thing right here, and then press upload video. Or how I like to do it is I like to put it as a bookmark, and I press upload. Okay, so for this, I don't know why dragging it doesn't work sometimes. I mean, I tried doing it. Oh, this time it actually worked, but sometimes it wouldn't work. But if it does work, yeah, you can just drag and drop, and then we could just drag this over to the middle, close it now because we don't need it. And over here we had the actual template that I use for all my videos. I'm gonna go ahead and show you that because I have made some changes over the time. Actually, instead of me showing it here, I'm gonna show you on OneNote because it's a little more organized there. So yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is my YouTube description. This is what I have as the template. So feel free to check it out. Oh yeah, and this part right here for Roblox, I'll just usually delete it if it's not Roblox. Put the game first and then some other stuff after. And there's also that, which is pretty cool. I also like to include everything in the description because why not? It's funny to me. There's also my fonts and stuff, but you don't really have to check it out. It's not mandatory. There's also my social media, but I don't think anyone cares. So that's cool. There's also Discord. Make sure you read the disclaimer on the right. And also my microphone and headphones. which will also be in this video. Now for my live description for when I'm live, it's a bit different, but it's essentially the same thing. However, I also include the Streamlabs donation link in case anyone wants to do that. Don't ask why it's called the official RDT Gaming. It's a long story. There's also my fonts and stuff. And yeah, it just repeats again. Not much really changes apart from that. So yeah, that's my format of making descriptions. There's also the title as well that I just put insert text here. I also like to put this little part at the end as like hyphen in my channel name, because I saw John do it and it was like, oh dang, that looks really fly. So I'll just do that. I'm just gonna call it test and then space hyphen and then my YouTube channel name. For this, I'll just call it, I'll just put like today I'll be doing nothing, lol. Okay, so what I would do is if something doesn't actually correlate with the video, I would just delete it. I'll just delete Roblox and the intro part. There we go. I know, I'll just keep looking and seeing what doesn't actually fit within my video. Although I guess these two are fine, but I don't know, it really depends. In this case, actually I didn't use any fonts. I just put none, or actually maybe NA. That worked. My social media, I did use those two, so I'll leave it there. There's also the thumbnail. I could just press upload thumbnail. Although that freaking 2 megabytes limit or whatever, that's really annoying. Playlists, I don't really do much with that. Let's go over here. Automatic chapters, disable that. Disable or take off the allow automatic places. That's really annoying. The recording date, let's set it for 19 of today, which is March 19. I'd also take off allow people to sample this content because yeah, and I'll pick the appropriate category. In this case, I'll just put entertainment in case I don't know what else to pick. Although these are pretty specific. For the comments, it's this one. I don't really do increased strictness because there's not really any reason to, but if my channel starts popping out or popping off, I will probably pick that, but probably not. There's video elements. I don't actually put any elements anymore, although I think this is also useful for some other people. So there's also checks in case something screws up within the checks process. You have to go back and see what you need to do to make corrections within your editing software, so this thing can have this check. Also, copyright issues are just a problem on YouTube. And then there's the visibility. Now I like to usually leave it unlisted just in case, so I can go back and check anything. And then if I'm confident, I'll go ahead and press public. So go ahead and save it as unlisted, and there's the video link. And by the way, you won't be able to see this video. I'm going to delete it after I'm done recording. Once I've confirmed everything's fine, I can go back to visibility and then put public, done, and then save. I'm not gonna actually publish it because that'll be kind of weird. But yeah, and actually I might as well just delete it now because at that point we're done. That's it. You successfully uploaded a video once you press public and done, or published it. Now it's about seeing the comments, making comments, watching the video do well or not. I don't know. You can also go to analytics. Honestly, I don't really care about this. I think some people may make it a big deal, but I don't. So yeah, that was about it. That's how I make my videos. Hopefully I was thorough and detailed with my explanations. And sorry if I sound tired or anything. It's been a long day for me. And I do want to get a video out because I don't want you guys to wait a month. Hopefully this is enough to suffice or quench your thirst for my videos, whatever that freaking means. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this video, make sure you dislike this video. Alright, bye everyone.